Bum bum, how's it going? How's it going? And today we want to talk about how to invest in real estate without making the following mistakes, right? So you can invest in property, but you can invest and you can also make some great, very expensive mistakes. And today we want to cover that out. It's great having you around. My name is TJ, and let's dive into those mistakes. On what are some of those mistakes? Well, the reason why you are going into property investments is because obviously you are wanting to make money. That's the first ring. You want to get money to work for you. And everyone I think there's nobody that I've ever seen who says to me, TJ, I'm going in to lose money. We all want to go in so that we can make some money out of it. Is that correct? And if the answer is yes, then obviously there are some mistakes that we are going to encounter along the way. But how best do we avoid those? There are so many ways in which you can avoid them. And I am going to tell you around about 6 of them so that you can avoid any formal mistakes, right? But you also may be into property investments because you obviously want to work less. Why? Because property allows you to work less whilst your money is growing. Yes. Why do I say that? Because the property doesn't involve you to be working once you've bought it. Lots of the work is done upfront, and then thereafter you can literally give your properties to someone else to manage for you, and you will be working less whilst you're banking some moolah. And that's why a lot of people obviously go into property investing. The third one is that obviously you want to grow financially, and that is the reason why you are investing in properties. But let's talk about it. So, how to invest in real estate without making the following mistakes? How do you avoid them? That's the question. How do you avoid them? I want to put a disclaimer today that there are some mistakes that you are going to not be able to run away from. Right? It's like breathing. It's like chewing. At some point, you are going to get choked. At some point, your throat is going to be irritated. So the moment that you're going to start knowing how to chew and swallow, at some point, something will happen. Might get a hiccup. It will happen. But how do you know now that you can avoid the mistake of choking? Well, you learn how to eat slowly. You learn how to swallow nicely. And all of these things, we all see that as smaller babies, as they are growing up, they choke more often than adults, right? So today's video is very much around how to avoid those mistakes. And I'm going to jump in here and I'm going to share with you, I think, my holy grail of these six in terms of avoiding these mistakes. So we all want to make money. It's a disclaimer that we want to do. But now, how do you actually avoid it? So the first thing that I want to say to you is that, which is my number one, we all jump into real estate, but do we actually understand that property investing is for me? Because remember, I wrote the book, Be the First Millionaire in Your Family. I wrote that book here that's called Be the First Millionaire in Your Family. I don't know why it's looking like that. But anyways, yeah. I wrote this book. And within this book here, literally, I have written this book here, Be the First Millionaire in Your Family. And there are so many ways in which you can become a millionaire other than real estate. So the first point is that, is real estate investing for you? Maybe it's not. Maybe you're good at crypto. Maybe you're good at Taurai. Maybe you're good at being a business person. Maybe you're good at other things other than property investing. Maybe it's not for you. So the first thing is identifying that, is property for you? And if the answer is yes, then we'll go on to point number 2 to say, check in terms of which asset class of property is for you. I'm going to repeat that because a lot of us, when we hear property investments, we already start or jumping into residential. No, there is plenty of different asset classes in property. You can jump onto Airbnb, that's short-term rentals. You can, but again, that's kind of like residential, eh? Yeah. But you can jump into student accommodation. You can jump into a little bit of commercial. You can jump into retail. There is plenty ways in which there's different classes. And the moment that you understand which class, then, because the way you manage these different classes also affect you as an individual or as an investor, right? So it's very important to understand which asset class you are happy with. The third one is that this is more now in the doing part. Check within your community who is doing what you're wanting to do. This is very important. By the way, at this time, you haven't even bought anything. All you're just doing is to do a self-check, a self-awareness of who you are to make sure that you can do this and you can avoid the mistakes that many of us have gone to do. Yes. But again, remember, you can never avoid a whole lot of mistakes. Sorry, you can avoid a whole lot of mistakes, but the mistakes will always be there because we are human, right? So I'm on point number 3 where I'm saying that within your community already try to figure out who is doing this. And I've always said to people, I know this culture does not exist anymore, or this behavior doesn't exist anymore in our culture, where you can volunteer. So you can knock on someone's door and say, hey, I can see you do a lot of Airbnbs. Can I volunteer so that I can give you my time, and in return, you can teach me how to do this. I will be available to you. Use me where you can. And for the next 2 years, 1 year, I am at your service. What is going to happen within that period is that 2 things will happen. Number 1, you're going to learn out of seeing. And number 2, you are also going to learn out of. And then number 2, you're also going to learn out of what they're doing wrong. You get what I mean, right? So you could be seeing and you're observing. So with that, you are able to say, I'm not going to do that, or I'll do that. I hope that makes sense, right? The 4th one is that go to school. Yep. The 4th one is go to school. I run a school. I'm not here to promote my school, which is called M5 Property Varsity. But if you're feeling compelled and you really want to learn, then I'd say come to the school, learn as much as you can. With that, you know what you're jumping into before you can make any mistakes. Right. The 5th one is my favorite, is get a mentor. What is the difference between a coach and a mentor? A coach is someone else who's never done it before. They're teaching you from an inspiration perspective. They push you, they put goals together with you, and then they start pushing you. A mentor is someone who can walk the path with you because they've done that. So they can create exactly what the coach has done also, together with the mechanics of I've done this, so you can walk the path with me. I'll remove some obstacles for you. I'll connect you into my community, and together we can make you successful. And hopefully you can be more successful than I am, because I am giving you a shortcut to the success by getting a mentor. Now, all of these things, ladies and gentlemen, they have their own pros and cons. And I am just giving you some very few steps in terms of how you can get started investing in real estate without having to make some mistakes. And these mistakes are obviously losing money. You don't want to lose money. We're all going into it to make money, to work less, to grow financially, and all of those nice things. The last one that I'm going to share with you is very important, which is point number 6. Point number 6 speaks to the fact that once you have gathered all of these things, For me, the very most important thing is that start doing ish. Yes, I say that right. Start doing. If you're not doing, you're going to sit on the bench, you're going to learn, you're going to explore, but you are never going to learn anything at all. The real education starts when you start doing. The real education, you start now growing by actually doing your own deals. And in them, when you now know the mistake, or you have identified the mistake from your mentor, from volunteering, from doing A, B, C, D, you're now able to identify it. Now you've avoided the mistake. But before you're doing that, and all you're doing is you're saying, maybe I can do it next year, maybe I can do that. You're going to forget all of these things. And by the time you're going to hit the road running a little bit later, you're going to forget everything else that you have learned. So the best teacher is the guy that's called doing. And I encourage you to meet that guy and start doing. If this information has been great to you, I say to you, high five, well done. And also what you might need to do is that on the bottom, there's a subscription button. Hit that subscription button, but don't forget to also share. Why do I want you to share? You are here because I started sharing. And my goal is that we can reach to as many people with this type of information so that we can be aware and we can be able to start doing, and doing adds a little bit of moolah in our pocket. So don't be stingy with the information. It is I, your boy, TJ. Boom, boom.